The Big Bang Theory was such a hilarious show that it left us with countless memorable moments and iconic quotes. It brought many people closer to the worlds of science, technology, and comic books, making audiences fall in love with its quirky characters and special guests. In this video, I'll share over 400 fun facts about this hit series. Before we dive in, if you haven't watched the show yet, I recommend pausing the video and coming back after you've seen it. Some plot details might be revealed that you won't want spoiled. If you've already watched it, let's get started. The Big Bang Theory is a sitcom created by Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady. It follows a group of scientists who struggle with social interactions outside of work, especially with women, until they meet Penny, an aspiring actress who introduces them to life beyond the scientific bubble they're used to. Here are the main characters. Dr. Sheldon Lee Cooper, a graduate of the University of Texas and Caltech, where he earned his PhD in physics. Dr. Leonard Leakey Hofstadter, who earned his PhD in physics from Princeton University. Penny, a high school graduate. Howard Joel Wolowitz, who holds a master's degree in engineering from MIT. Dr. Rajesh Ramayan Kuthrapalli, who earned his PhD in astrophysics from Cambridge University. Dr. Bernadette Mary and Rostenkowski-Wolowitz, who earned her PhD in microbiology from Caltech. Dr. Amy Farrah Fowler, who earned her PhD in neurobiology from Harvard University. The original pilot episode was never aired because CBS didn't approve of its darker tone and different setting. In that unaired version, Penny's character was named Katie and played by Amanda Walsh. Leonard and Sheldon also had a fellow scientist named Gilda, played by Iris Barr, who had a crush on Leonard. Brie Larson auditioned for the role of Penny but was turned down for being too young. Kaylee Cuoco was rejected twice for the first pilot, but when the second pilot was filmed, she landed the role. Originally, Penny's character was supposed to be a hard-drinking makeup artist instead of an aspiring actress. The first season was planned to have 22 episodes, but due to the Hollywood writers' strike, only 17 were produced. Season 2 picks up right where the first left off. For actors from The Big Bang Theory had previously worked together on the show Roseanne, Johnny Galecki, Sarah Gilbert, Laurie Metcalf, and Megan Faye, who played Bernadette's mom. Fun fact, Galecki and Gilbert's characters were a couple on Roseanne, just like in The Big Bang Theory. And the blanket on Amy's couch? It's the same style as the one used in Roseanne. Actress Mayim Bialik holds a PhD in neuroscience, just like her character on the show. This was a huge help to the writers, as she would review scripts whenever they touched on her field of study. She also has degrees in Jewish studies and Hebrew studies. Bernadette's voice, played by Melissa Rauch, is based on her real-life mother's voice. Although the character didn't originally speak that way, Melissa chose to use it to give Bernadette a more distinctive personality. Each character's wardrobe reflects their personality. Sheldon wears short-sleeve t-shirts over long-sleeve shirts. Leonard often wears hoodies. Raj is usually seen in sweaters or vests. Howard wears Dickies or oversized belt buckles. Amy wears knee-length skirts with colorful or dark tights and long-sleeve blouses with collars. Bernadette wears long dresses with dark or colorful tights, except when she's pregnant. Penny is the only character without a consistent clothing pattern. The word Bazinga wasn't originally in the script. Writer Stephen Engel used it after playing a prank on co-creator Bill Prady, and they decided to include it in a taping. That's how the catchphrase, now synonymous with Sheldon's jokes, was born. Bazinga went beyond television. In December 2012, Brazilian biologists André Nemesio and Rafael R. Ferrari named a species of orchid bee Euglassa bazinga. Executive producer Stephen Molaro responded by saying they were honored that the scientific community embraced the show. The term was also used by the Ames Laboratory in the US when developing a chemical compound called Bazinga, which contains a crystalline structure of barium, zinc, and gallium. In the TV series The Flash, the character Cisco Ramon, played by Carlos Valdez, wears t-shirts referencing The Big Bang Theory. One of them even features the word Bazinga. Kevin Sussman, who plays Stewart, originally auditioned for the role of Sheldon, but Chuck Lorre ultimately chose Jim Parsons. When Jim Parsons auditioned for Sheldon, Lorre was so impressed that he asked him to do it again, just to see if he could deliver the performance as perfectly a second time. Although many believe Sheldon's character is based on someone with Asperger's syndrome, Jim Parsons has said he focused on behavioral traits rather than any specific diagnosis to bring Sheldon to life. Before we go on, do you know which episode of the series features a well-known Mexican song and what that song is? If not, you'll find out at the end of the video. Raj's issue with being unable to speak to women without alcohol in the early seasons was inspired by one of producer Bill Prady's former co-workers, who had the same problem. Interestingly, in the episode The Dumpling Paradox, Raj is seen talking to Leonard while Penny is in the apartment, even though he hasn't had a drink yet. That's because, up until that episode, he didn't realize he could speak in those situations. There are two key moments when Raj discovers he can talk to women. The first is in the grasshopper experiment, when Penny serves him a cocktail and he realizes alcohol helps him speak. The second is in the Bon Voyage reaction, when Penny visits him after his breakup with Lucy and he talks to her without having had any alcohol. Science programs have seen an increase in student enrollment since the show aired, thanks to its fun and engaging portrayal of the scientific world. Penny carries the same handbag starting from the second episode of the series. Actress Mayim Bialik had to hide her right hand in 5 episodes of Season 6 due to a car accident. Macaulay Culkin was considered for the role of Leonard but turned it down. Johnny Galecki initially rejected the show 5 times because he didn't think it would work. When he finally agreed to join the cast, he was offered the role of Sheldon, but he preferred Leonard because of the romantic storyline with Penny. Leonard's character wasn't originally written to wear glasses, but Johnny wore a pair during his audition to give the character more personality, and they stuck. Fun fact, Leonard's glasses never had lenses in them because they reflected the set lights during filming. The show was originally going to be called Lenny, Penny, and Kenny. Amy's apartment number is 314, a clever reference to the mathematical constant pi. There are 2 fan theories suggesting the show is actually about the end of the world. The first claims that Leonard, Sheldon, Howard, and Raj are modern-day versions of Einstein or Tesla, but distracted by the temptations of the 21st century. This theory is based on the show's opening sequence, which summarizes the history of the universe up to the present day, ending in an explosion followed by the show's title. According to this idea, one of the characters might accidentally cause the universe to collapse, similar to how Leonard broke the elevator in their building. The second theory points to the timeline in the opening sequence, which stops at the year 2020. Some interpret this as a reference to the pandemic and the end of the world, while others believe it simply marks the final year the show was intended to run before it wasn't renewed. Kate Micucci auditioned for the role of Amy, but since Mayim Bialik had already been cast, she was given the role of Lucy, one of Raj's girlfriends. Before Mayim Bialik joined the cast, in the episode The Bat Jar Conjecture, Raj, Howard, and Leonard discuss who could replace Sheldon. Raj says, "I heard the actress from Blossom is really smart. She has a PhD in neuroscience or something." In the same scene, Raj also mentions that the girl from The Wonder Years is smart enough to replace Sheldon. Later, Danica McKellar, who played Winnie on The Wonder Years and whom Kunal Nair had a childhood crush on, appears in the episode The Psychic Vortex as Abby, one of Raj's dates. In the holographic excitation, while Amy and Sheldon argue about their Halloween costumes, you can spot Blossom and Joey on Amy's whiteboard list, an Easter egg referencing Mayim Bialik's role in Blossom. Amy is allergic to avocado. Sheldon is allergic to bees and has obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, hypochondria, and OCD, though he denies it. Howard is allergic to peanuts and has idiopathic transient arrhythmia. Leonard is lactose and sulfite intolerant and also has asthma and nearsightedness. Raj suffers from romantic anxiety, selective mutism, and gynophobia, all of which disappear by Season 7. In the comic book store Regeneration, Raj and Leonard meet actor Nathan Fillion and tell him they're huge fans of Firefly and Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, in which Simon Helberg played the character Moist. In the maternal congruence, Penny, Leonard, and Sheldon are watching the 2000 film How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which features Christine Baranski, Leonard's mom on the show, as Martha Mayhovier. Every episode title, except for the pilot, references something from the world of science. Sheldon and Leonard don't believe in any deity, which is ironic considering the scientific theory that underpins both their careers, and the title of the show was originally proposed by Catholic priest Georges Lemaitre. Howard Wolowitz was inspired by a real person one of the producers met while working at a computer store. Simon Helberg had read the script for the unaired pilot and almost turned down the audition for the second pilot because he didn't like the original version. At the time, he was a regular on Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, but his agent convinced him to audition. When Chuck Lorre saw his performance as Howard Wolowitz, he immediately cast him in the role. Jerry O'Connell, who plays Sheldon's older brother, is actually younger than Jim Parsons in real life. The instruments played by Sheldon, Howard, Amy, and Leonard are genuinely performed by the actors. Jim Parsons studied piano for 14 years and learned to play the theremin for the show, one of the most difficult instruments to master. Simon Helberg is a professional pianist. Mayim Bialik learned to play the harp specifically for the series. Johnny Galecki plays the cello. There was a show in Belarus called The Theorists that closely resembled The Big Bang Theory. When Chuck Lorre found out, he alerted Warner Brothers to file a complaint. However, nothing came of it since the production company was government-owned. Still, when the actors learned it was a copy, they quit, and the show was canceled. Kaylee Cuoco and Johnny Galecki secretly dated from 2007 to 2009. After their breakup, the characters Penny and Leonard began having more romantic scenes together. According to Kaylee and Johnny, the producer did this on purpose just to mess with them. Will Wheaton's house number in the show matches the registry number of the Enterprise NCC 1701D from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Throughout the entire series, Penny's last name is never revealed. There are two popular fan theories. The first is based on the final scene of The Maternal Capacitance, where Penny talks about her parents. Her mom refers to her dad as Bob, but later Leonard meets her father and calls him Wyatt, leading fans to believe Penny's last name might be Wyatt. The second theory is a bit darker. It suggests her last name could be Wise, making her full name Pennywise, a nod to the terrifying clown from Stephen King's It. Since Sheldon suffers from coulrophobia, fear of clowns, the theory goes that all his friends agreed never to mention it, fearing it would trigger him. Chuck Lorre revealed in an interview that Penny's last name was supposed to be Barrington. It was originally planned to be revealed during Sheldon's thank you speech in the series finale, but the writers decided against it, worried it might overshadow the emotional moment, so her last name remained a mystery. And that wraps up part 1 of the video. Now, the answer to the earlier question. The name of the Mexican song is Cielito Lindo, a traditional classic composed in 1882 by Mexican musician Quirino Mendoza y Cortez. You can hear it playing in the background during the episode The Allowance Evaporation, when Sheldon and Amy go out to dinner at a Mexican restaurant and run into Bert. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video with even more fun facts about this amazing series.